Hey everyone, this is Amanda, or also known as Fixing This RN. Today I'm going to do a little bit of Christmas savings, but I'm also going to go over what I've kind of been doing behind the scenes. And I really need to just film it because I don't show up the way I need to yet. Not like I do with the money. So I need that accountability. So anyways, this is my binder. It has some of my savings challenges in it. It has my debt trackers, and I've been meaning to go over this, so let's go ahead and go over it. So for overall debt, for those of you that are just following me, you might not know this, but for overall debt, we have a lot of debt. I do include my mortgage because technically it's a debt, but then when I do like my goals, I don't include my mortgage because it is a long-term investment. So it's kind of confusing, but at the end of the day, I still owe people money. So when I'm looking at my overall debt, this is what I look at. Bank loan is what I'm working on right now. When I first started this bank loan, and I think it was a little bit more, it was $31,829 and some change. My interest is high at 14%, and I make payments of $609.77 each month, and it's due on the first of the month. For car, car is Adam's car. Mine is paid off, but when we started it was $27,436.70, and our payment for that is $586 a month, and we have to pay that on the 10th. Student loan number 1, we have not started making payments with yet, which I want to tackle it, but at the same time I'm kind of grateful because we don't have the buffer that we need to make that payment. So if that can just last on hold for like another year, it would help us a lot. But if it does not, then we will figure it out. We are paying for 2 other student loans. I did not have this information. You would think after all this time I would have had it ready for you, but I don't. So none of the student loans are mine. They are my fiance's. So it's his access, and I just haven't gotten into it yet. But he'd be more than welcome to let me see it. But anyways, one is $11,000 and then one is $24,000. So technically, since I am focused on the debt snowball, the one of the student loans is my smallest debt, but it just makes the most sense to pay off something that is taking, besides this one, everything else is kind of balanced as far as what we owe on it. So almost all of them owe the same. And it takes up so much of our money. So the bank loan is what I made priority. So I don't know if that makes sense or not, but student loans, worst case scenario, we can figure things out, but the bank loan I have to pay. So that's not something I can put in default if we lose our job or anything, I guess is the way I look at it. Car number 2, I just wanted to point it out because I did pay that off last year. My car, we paid off $8,623, and we paid that off in May of 2025. So then we get to our annual starting debt, and our beginning was $323,290. I have not updated this yet, so that is to be continued when we get to the end of the month. This kind of breaks down, and if I remember, I will link all of these creators, like stuff is on a budget, did some of these. This is from a different creator. I need to look it up, and then the binder too. I'll put the binder information in there. So as far as the debt snowball, I have 5 debts, and like I said, I do include my mortgage for everything. So we will keep track of the mortgage for the year. Bank loan, I think I said the bank loan was $31,000. We're now at $23,663. For the car, we started at $27,000. We're now at $21,919. Student loan number 2, we're now at 10,826, and then the student loan number 3 is at 24,064. So not a lot of dents for the last 3 because we're focusing on the bank loan. I do have a really big goal of paying off the bank loan this year. I do not know if it's going to be completely possible, but I have made that my big goal. And the other thing is, and I kind of got this idea from I think it was Stuffs on a Budget. This was from Debt Free Prints on Etsy. And then they also have like their own website. So this is my debt for the student loan. So I'm coloring in when I get closer to the goal. So that one is tracking my student loan. This one is keeping track of my month ahead. So once I get this all filled out, I'll be 1 month ahead. This one is going to be my 3-month ahead tracker. So this is how far I am for the 3-month tracker. And this one is the car loan. So just an easy way for us to keep track of our debt and make it a little bit more encouraging. I did go ahead and get one for the house too. Again, this is long term. This is like not even on our agenda right now as far as paying it off, but it's kind of nice to see how far we've gotten without making any extra payments to it. So we've gotten almost the top half filled out, so that's kind of cool. So I do have a couple extra ones in here, and like I said, if I remember to link it, I will most definitely link it. I also went on the Budget Mom and got some of these trackers too. I don't intend to start filling them out yet, but I did think it'd be nice. Adam and I need to get married. We keep putting it off because we keep putting everything else first, but we really do need to get married. Keys to cars. I would really like to start saving up for a car. Now again, the main focus is paying off debt, so I don't know if I'll start that this year and just focus on the other thing, but that is something I have. And then we get into the savings challenges. This one is from Cash and Color Budget. So this was on Etsy. This one is from Nita at the Organized Owl. This one, I don't know how far I'm going to get in, but this is from Maddie over at Floating Funds on our Ko-fi. This one came from Snow Gardener 307. It is part of her membership, so that's why I got that. This I've started filling out. This is just going to be extra money to go towards Annabeth's graduation if she potentially graduates this year. And then the rest of these are from Snow Gardener 307 too. And these are like just because if I don't complete these, it's okay. But they were just great challenges, so it kind of didn't make sense not to print them out. So that's all part of Snow Gardener 307. Those last few challenges. So then I made 2026 goals. So I've never been like a big person to do New Year's resolutions, but I thought this would be a really good idea because there is a couple things that I'd really like to do. So this was from Say With Glow. This was on our Etsy. So here are my goals. I want to create at least one savings challenge a month. I would ideally like to do more, but it's kind of intimidating doing the savings challenges right now. So I think one a month is feasible, even when clinicals start. I want to reply quicker to text and comments, so I've started doing that. I get kind of overwhelmed because there's so many great creators and I want to show everyone love, and I get overwhelmed. So I'm trying to keep track of that too. I want to restock my closet this year. I wear the same 5 outfits every week because I don't have any clothes that fit me correctly. Now I do have some smaller clothes and I am trying to lose weight, so I could potentially refit in my new clothes or my old clothes, but I need clothes. I need to stop wearing the same outfits. Another high goal, I want to try to lose 50 pounds this year. It's just a goal. It gives me something to strive towards. I am doing Weight Watchers and I am on the GLP ones. So I am doing those together. I also drink energy teas and shakes for a protein supplement to make sure I'm getting enough protein. I also want to fit in rides more comfortably, so that kind of comes with the weight loss. Right now, when I go to the theme parks, I'm super scared to get on any rides because I have very wide hips. My stomach's not like super big for my weight, but it's just my hips. That's where I store a lot of my weight, that and my legs. So I'd really, really like to be able to get on a ride and not have to worry about if I'm gonna fit or not. Find gratitude every day is another thing. In my anxiety and the anxiety I deal with, it sometimes becomes so overwhelming that I forget to appreciate what I do have. So that is another goal I have. This one's going to be kind of a big one because I do a lot in day-to-day life, but I really love reading books. So I want to try to start reading books again, maybe one book a month. I want to get my house back in order this year. My house is chaotic and it's never been where I want it. I like things like super specific, and ever since Carson has come, we've just never really gotten it back to where I like it to be. Find more time for friends. So some of this is find friends. I do have 2 really close friends, so it's more for that, but it would be nice to make some new friends this year. Because it's important and I know it's important, so I need to make time for that. Oh, I did put it there. Find more friends. Stop hiding. So I tend to not want to take pictures. I tend to want to be behind the scenes. Most of the time I don't like going to social events because I'm very self-conscious. So I need to be proud of who I am and stop hiding. Enjoy being outside again. So my vitamin D has been low. When I went to go get my labs checked, I just do not go outside anymore. And again, that all comes to being confident in who I am. So I don't really like wearing shorts because of my legs. And so it's hot in Florida, so I just don't go outside. I need to find a way to get comfortable in clothes that are weather appropriate. Date nights is another one. Adam and I really don't do anything for ourselves. Everything we do is really with the kids. And the reason behind that is because we just don't have anyone that we trust to watch the kids. We could find a babysitter, but one, it costs money, and two, like, the world's crazy. So that one's hard. I put a vacation question mark. If we don't take a vacation, it's completely fine. But it would be nice for something to strive for if we can do like a little mini vacation. I would also like to make more time for my parents. My parents don't live too far away and I love them to death. So I want to make more time to, like, even if it's on the way home, just stop by and say hi. It's important for me, but it's also, I think, important for them to know that I miss them enough to come see them. And I do miss them enough, so I just need to go do it. The other thing is I'd like to get closer to my siblings. So something about me is that I am over 20 years younger than my brother and sister. So we did not grow up in the same household. We did not grow up in the same type of environment, and it's just really hard for us to find a common denominator. It's not that we don't like each other, we just have never had an opportunity to really get close. So that is something I'd like to try really hard to do. More mother-daughter outings, that's for Annabeth and I, so I'd like to go do some more stuff with her this year. Ever since volleyball ended, we really don't have that time together like we did when we'd go and travel for volleyball. It's been nice saving the money for non-volleyball purposes, but it has put in a damper on being able to go do stuff. And then the last two. So find something I love to do and fun income. So I'd really like to make the challenges. I really think it would be fun to do that. play with some challenges of my own and be able to contribute to the community. But I'd also like to find something that's kind of fun that I really don't mind doing, even though it's work, for extra income. So those are my two goals. I have been a mom so long, and I've been so in the mom mode that I don't know how just to relax and where to even start. So if you guys have any ideas on where do I start to figure out what my interests are, I would love to hear it. But one of the places I'm starting is the books and the challenges, because I think I will enjoy doing that. I do have this for membership and subscription. I have not filled this out yet because I kept telling myself I was going to disenroll in some of the subscriptions, and it's really hard to do because I love all the creators. But my thought process is that if I'm not paying for subscriptions, then I can share the love everywhere. I can share the love to the creators that I'm already supporting, but then I can also sometimes use the money for other creators too. So, but I'm having a hard time letting go. So once I finally let go, I will fill this out. I did make some meal planning stuff. So this is one, this came from the Budget Mom too. These budgets are downloaded from Snowguard 307. Again, I do have her membership. I do plan on keeping her membership because of this specifically. But I also have Agape Book Club's free downloads from Ko-fi. So this is something that I can update. So starting in January, I started at 251.8. Last week I weighed in at 245. Hopefully I'm in screen. I started at 245.8, and then I weighed in today and I was 243.6. So as long as I put in the effort, it usually comes off. So that's super exciting. January goals. So these were some of the goals that I planned on doing. I haven't done at least half of them, but it's still January, so I still have time. So it says make a challenge, habit tracker, a walk for 4 times in a row a week, prepare for clinicals, buy at least 2 pieces of clothing, and start new savings. So the new savings is what I'm doing now. So that one's done. I have not bought the clothing yet, so I need to do that. And I need to start preparing for the clinicals starting back for my extra job position. I have been walking more, but not the amount that I want. So I need to do better with that. And I have totally not followed the habit tracker. Not necessarily that I haven't done it, but I haven't kept track of it. So I don't know how well I've been doing. And then make a challenge. So that's the savings challenge. The other thing that I did with her download Agape Book Club is, this is a to-do list for January, but I made it for people to watch. So the original list that I have right now is for people that I have taken their challenges. So all the freebies that they have created, I have put them on here so that I can find a way to pay it forward. There are some people on here that just always support me, so I am also making sure that I give them attention too. So this is hopefully going to help me keep track of giving support to more people and reminding myself to go back. So I've been doing okay with this one. This one I've been a lot better with. Here's my habit tracker. I made it like to day 3 and then I just stopped keeping track of it. So even though I have been doing a lot of those, I couldn't tell you what days I did and what days I didn't. The other thing I like about Agape Book Club is that she does have a meal planner. I have not used these yet. I do plan on starting to use these, so that will be coming soon. And then here's my budget. So with my budget, this week, Adam was the one who got paid. We budgeted for $16.50. It ended up being $17.21, which he usually does get a little bit more than what I budget for. I also got a check for my medication for my GLP-1. It was a return check from my FSA, so that was $199. So we're at $19.20, and I planned for $16.50. Then it got to my bills. We had to pay for daycare, half of the month for daycare, so it's $420. So that didn't change. car, that is a part of Adam's car payment. We do it in increments. Loan 2, electric, loan, so my loan I take out too, and then I put my medication in there because it's a bill, so I need to pay myself back for that. So all of our bills constituted for $1,534, which left us with $386. I always take out $200 for groceries and then $70 for gas, and so that's $270, and that left us with $116. So for right now, I'm not going to budget that $116 because I also had my teeth cleaned, and the way that my insurance works is I have to pay for the cleaning up front and then I get reimbursed. So I paid for it and I'm waiting to get reimbursed. So depending on how much they covered, I might need a little buffer to pay off the rest. So that is why that's going to stay there for right now. But if anything does roll over, I will roll it into the next thing. So that is my plan for that one. I am going to plan on doing the cash envelope breakdown month ahead, so I'll go over all of that at the end of the month. I have one for that, and we already have February going. I would like to try to keep track of no spend too, but I have not started that one. I will try to start that one in February. That one's just more for fun to see if there's any patterns that I can pick up, but it's not something that's like gonna be a deal breaker if I forget to do it. And then the last part is just stuff that I'd like to work on. This all came from the Budget Mom, so I can keep track of 3 goals at a time. So I printed out a couple of those, again, goal snapshot. And then I told you I wanted to be a little bit more grateful this year, so I also have the gratitude jar. So every day I will start writing stuff down and remind myself things that I can feel proud of, and things that should make me happy. So that is something I am doing. I'm trying really hard to manifest positivity and manifest happiness, because I forgot where I saw it, but basically they were saying if you only think about the negative, it's going to impact how you live your life. And I don't necessarily think negative, but I think of all the stuff that needs to get done or all the things I need to do. So I'm hoping that focusing on the positive will make things a lot more enjoyable, because they should be. Life's too short and we are never promised anything. So that is my thought process. I probably won't edit this video, so you're going to hear a lot of ums and just a lot of chaos. So I apologize. I did figure that I would sneak in my Christmas savings. I have been doing April's Fresh Start Christmas book, and please forgive the binder. It's not April's fault, it's mine. I have gotten better with this, but this was my first draft. So I was able to finish the January, and I will have this link down below too. For my sled races, I decided that it's too much for me to save the dollar amount for each thing I roll, but I do want to save more than just what's down at the bottom. So what I decided to do is just for each die that I land on, I'll save $1. So that's where the check marks are coming from. So let's go ahead and see what we can do. I'll roll 2. So we have 1 and 3. April actually came out with this last year, and I was just not able to do it last year. And I've been super excited about it. I didn't see what that was. I'm going to roll it again. So 4 and 4. I do want to do other challenges as well. But like I said, I've been waiting a long time to do this one, so definitely want to do it. So 6 and 1. 6 is on the board. And we have another 1. 5 and 6. Okay, now everything's in play. So yeah, it's totally up to you how you do this. You could just save what's at the bottom. You could save the die as you go along. But for me, I'm just making the die one specific amount, and then I'll save whatever's at the bottom. So 1 and 4. So far it looks like number 4 is going to win. I should probably keep track of how much I'm saving. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh man. Okay. Too busy talking and not thinking about what I'm saying. Hold on. Let me regroup. I guess I'm editing this after all. So, I have saved, I think, $10. Sorry for not paying attention. And so we have 2 and 6, so that's 11 and 12. We're working with $30. 13 and 14. 15 and 16. 17 and 18. 19 and 20. We're not going to have any money left. 21 and 22. So our little Elfie finished. So 22 plus 5 is 27. So 20, and then we'll do the 5, and let's see if we can roll a couple more times. We would have to get a 1, but everything else isn't close. So let's see if we can finish it off. If not, we'll have an IOU. 28, 29, and I have an IOU. So we are saving $34. So let me put this up, and I'll make an IOU. Hold on real quick. Okay, so we have $4 of IOU. I do have all of the money I've saved from this, so I'm not going to count it just yet. I'm going to separate it and count it at the end of the month, because this does include December from when I started too. But it will remind me that I need to save $4 this time. That's really funny. I got too excited. I will probably do this one, and then I will probably do a couple extra savings next week. So we'll probably just take a first and second place for this one, and then go do some other savings for next week. So that is my plan. Thank you for spending time with me and listening to my goals for this year. I know some of them are kind of corny, but they're important to me, so I'm excited to get started. And I really, really have a good feeling about this year. So I'm going to try really hard to get at least most of my goals achieved. Friends might be a little bit harder because you have to have time to have friends, but I do need to make it kind of a priority. So that is all I have for today. Again, thank you for watching this, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.